Since the beginning of the war on Iran, one of the major questions was whether the Houthis in Yemen are going to join in. Houthis are massively supported, particularly in terms of military capacities and know-how, by the Iranian regime. They are part of this, roughly speaking, Iranian network of proxies / subcontractors in the region, though the Houthis are not necessarily the full proxy, let's put it this way, of the Iranian regime. Just the same, when you look at the role of the Houthis up until now, we are more than a month into the war, you see that roughly speaking, as of now, the Houthis, relatively speaking, stayed out of the situation. Indeed, a couple of days ago, the Houthis launched a missile at Israel and drone, but it was mostly kind of like a symbolic act or a sign of a signal, basically indicating that the Houthis might join the war at some point. That was encompassed with some rhetoric by Houthi leader Abdel Malik al-Houthi that could support such trajectory. However, when you look at the situation as of now on the ground, the Houthis has not fully joined in, and I would say consciously that it seems like there is a growing dilemma and debate within Houthi leadership regarding the whole issue of participating in the war. There are a couple of reasons that basically fuel the reluctance, I would say, of Houthis to fully participate in this war. First is the fact that they witness currently the significant outcome of the US plus Israeli military might and the damage it caused to the Iranian regime. Second, we have to bear in mind that in Yemen, differently from Iran, in Yemen there are strong factors on the ground who militarily object the Houthis. A situation where the Houthis are going to jeopardize their military assets, get weakened, and at the same time have to confront an inner military front is obviously a scenario that Houthi leadership would try to avoid. Another reason for the Houthis' reluctance, to the best of my understanding right now, is the role and position of Egypt. Thus far, Egypt, the biggest and strongest Arab state in the Middle East. Egypt, roughly speaking, stayed out on the sideline, resulting in a growing criticism in the Arab Gulf monarchies on Egypt. That criticism became very overt in the last couple of days. The story of the Houthis, and particularly the fact that they could jeopardize maritime trade in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait and the Red Sea, presents Egypt an enormous significant challenge. Previously, when the Houthis did that, Egypt did not use its military power to address or confront the Houthi threat. This time, circumstances are different for two major reasons. One is the fact that Egypt is already sustaining a significant price for the war, though it is standing offside. And the other reason for that is the fact that this time, given to the growing stress and challenges that Egypt is facing, and given the enormous criticism of the Arab Gulf monarchy on Egypt, that could enable Egypt some sort of like damage control in the context of relationship with the Arab Gulf monarchies, who are very significant for the Egyptian economy. In other words, there are already voices coming from Egypt that are basically hinting that if the Houthis are going yet again to jeopardize maritime at the Red Sea, Egypt is going to use its military power to address that threat. This is something that Houthis clearly are aware of. So, all in all, what could we expect in the context of the Houthis and the war in the current circumstances? I would say cautiously that it is more likely to see, at least in the foreseeable future, a time frame that I would say lead all the way at least to the end or the date where President Trump's ultimatum is expired in the beginning of April. I would say that during this period of time, currently it seems like more that the Houthis will refrain from attacking maritime at the Bab el-Mandeb Strait and the Red Sea. It's very possible that they will continue, maybe a little bit even increasing their symbolic attacks on Israel. But obviously, in the end of the day, we'll have to see how things will evolve in the context of the wider picture, namely, of course, the trajectory of the war on Iran. Once again, as I said since day one of this war, we are looking at a poker game, and the different players are trying to exhaust their cards the best way they can, while at the same time not endangering their assets. I'm Avi Melamed, founder of Inside the Middle